ABCs of movement from your head down to your feet. ABCs of movement, it's time to get up out of your seat. Twist and turn while we learn, fast and slow, away we go.
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm a physical therapist and the creator of the ABCs of Movement. These fun, movement-oriented activity cards may accelerate a child's ability to learn the alphabet. How, you ask? By teaching the ABCs through movement. By combining gross motor movements with alphabet letters, literacy connects with movement and active play. Literacy experiences prior to first grade are critical for children's success in learning to read. Learning to recognize alphabet letters is one of the hallmarks of preschool and kindergarten literacy instruction. Young children move so much because movement is vital to their development. Current brain research tells us that children need to be active in order to get their brains working and growing. Movement-enhanced learning engages the whole brain and helps young children learn. Kids love these colorful activity cards that merge learning the alphabet with 26 non-competitive, developmentally appropriate movement activities. The ABCs of Movement were designed for children of all abilities, from preschool through first grade. This box set comes with 26 alphabet letters, 1 logo card, 1 instruction card, and this DVD. No special equipment is needed. However, optional equipment includes a ring, a large clip, a beanbag, musical instruments or music, and a dry erase marker. The front of the card has upper and lowercase letters, a picture of a child performing the movement, and the name of the card. The back of the card has the really cool stuff. The first direction is to trace the letter in the air. That is called skywriting, and it's great for kinesthetic learners. Instruct the children to isolate their pointer finger, and if you're the teacher, turn around so the children can follow along with you the correct way to form the letters. There's also a rhyming sentence and an alliteration sentence to reinforce each of the alphabet letters. Rhyme play directs children's attentions to the similarities and differences in the sounds of words. Alliteration sentences have the same first consonant sound and is a great way to introduce phonemes. Phonemes are the small units of speech that are represented by the sounds of the letters. For example, in the word bat, there are 3 phonemes: b, a, and t. So those 3 phonemes, b, at, make up the word bat. There are also performance instructions on the back, including some developmental milestones, modifications for children with special needs or younger children. Personally, I have used these with children with special needs up to 2nd and 3rd grade, and they very much enjoy using them. I've used them with children that have diagnoses of mild cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, spina bifida, and general developmental delay. The last section on the back of the card has what gross motor domain the movement experience enhances. Some are good for balance, some are good for strength, some are good for motor planning, some are good for bilateral coordination, and some are good for crossing the midline. An example of bilateral coordination is the first card. A is for alligator march. Alligator march is a great activity to work on bilateral coordination. Bilateral coordination is using both sides of your body together. So when you march like an alligator, you are doing bilateral coordination. The ABCs of Movement can be used throughout the day. They can be used during gym time, made into a beanbag game or an obstacle course. They can be used during circle or opening time, during transitions, in hallways, during cooperative learning, and for some outside fun. They can also be paired with music to show children how movement can change with different tempos. All of these uses are demonstrated in this video. There are many benefits of using the ABCs of Movement. For example, they're a great support to your existing literacy instruction, but they get those children, those kinesthetic learners, who learn best through movement. They help instruct children in gross motor skill enhancement while working on literacy development and reading readiness, and they offer great movement experiences to increase body awareness and cooperative learning. No matter what setting you're in, the school, the home, childcare setting, you will see how using the ABCs of movement can help you teach young children their alphabet while having lots and lots of fun. Hi, it's me, Lori. Yes, my hair is a little darker and shorter, and I have a few more wrinkles on my face, but I wanted to reshoot a portion of this DVD because so many exciting things have happened at the ABCs of Movement since I originally shot the DVD a few years ago. First off, I've enhanced the cards to include phonological awareness. So on the back of each card, one of the directions says, say, a. You can do this several different ways with your students. You can put your finger by your ear and you can say, what sound does the letter A make? And then they would say, eh. Or while they're alligator marching, they could also open and close the alligator mouth while they're saying, alligator. Another extension of this activity is you could ask them what other words start with the sound. And they may say ant, apple. They'll probably say alligator or astronaut. And this would be for slightly older children that are doing a little bit more with their early literacy skills. We modified 2 of the ABC cards. So now L is leaping lizards and N is narrow walk. In addition, we've added 2 video clips of me working with some of the children that I see and doing some of the super fun extension activities through the ABCs of Movement. One of the videos is called ABC Beach Ball, where all you do is buy a beach ball, write the ABCs of Movement activities on the beach ball and the alphabet letters, and you have a beach ball game. You get in a circle and you toss the ball from one student to the other. The students identify the letter if they can, and you all perform the movement activity. A little side note, when you're working with beach balls with young children, it's always good to deflate the beach ball slightly so it makes it more successful in catching it. Super inflated beach balls are really hard to catch when you're in preschool. The other video clip that I'm going to be sharing with you is called ABC Freeze. This is a great way to work on social emotional learning and especially self-regulation. During ABC Freeze, everyone is doing the ABCs of Movement activity cards, but we're doing it to music. When I stop the music, the children are instructed that they need to freeze in whatever position that they're doing. Social emotional learning is so important in early childhood. Let me read you something. Research indicates that self-regulation in children is a predictor of academic abilities. Children with higher levels of self-regulation have achieved higher scores in reading, vocabulary, and math. The ability to self-regulate is an extremely important skill that needs to be taught to children. So what better way to teach self-regulation than with movement and music? The next activity that I want to share with you is called ABC Yoga. I think yoga is a fantastic activity for young children. And I've included ABCs of Movement to do with the yoga. Instead of doing movement, we do poses. So for example, for the letter A, instead of alligator marching, we alligator breathe. So what you do is you have everyone extend their hands out and they take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And of course, if you can make them breathe slower, that's a very calming thing. Yoga is wonderful because it's great for balance and coordination, but it's also great for self-regulation and for helping children with guiding some of their big emotions that they have. So this is A, alligator breathing. You can also do B, Instead of bear crawling, the students would get in the bear position and hold that position, which looks a whole lot like the downward facing dog in yoga. Another activity would be C, crab. Instead of crab walking, they would do yoga crab poses. So they would get on their hands and their feet. I try to challenge the children to lift their bellies up out of the crab position, lift it up really high, and then that is like a yoga position called the table. And lastly, you could have children, instead of duck walk, they could squat down, they could put their hands on their hips, and they could do the duck pose and hold that position, which is a great leg strengthening activity. So those are a few of new activities that I've introduced at ABCs of Movement that I think you'd find very beneficial. You know how movement and music go together hand in hand. And I sort of alluded to the fact that I use music when I do ABC Freeze, but I didn't tell you that I use the ABCs of Movement music CD. So this is a new product at the ABCs of Movement. It is a fantastic music CD. There's 27 different tracks on the CD. Each of the tracks represents each one of the alphabet letters. The musician who created my ABCs of Movement music CD chose either the rhyming sentence or the alliteration sentence and turned it into a song. Now, mind you, the songs are short. They're maybe about a minute or so each, because children are not going to attend and do the movements of like Alligator March for 10 or 15 minutes. So nice short songs. But there's 27 different tracks, so you can actually go to which ABC letter you're working on and then include the music. I wanted to also share that when he created the ABCs of Movement music CD, he went through cultural music influences from around the world. No two songs sound exactly the same. For example, the letter D is from the US and it's a country song or country theme. The letter E is from the UK, circa 80s alternative pop. H is from the Middle Eastern folk song. And Z is a funk song. So super fun, super great way to include movement and music together. The last item that I wanted to share with you is the ABCs of Active Learning book. This book right here combines multisensory literacy activities with the ABCs of Movement. The beginning of the book has explanations on why multisensory movement and multisensory learning is important, why combine movement with the alphabet, the motor components, the literacy components, multisensory writing, but the meat of the book is the ABCs of Movement cards. Now this book can stand alone. You don't have to buy the cards to use the book. It just supplements the cards. I call it the ABCs of Movement on steroids. So the book, this part of the book right here is actually the ABCs of Movement cards, the front and the back of the cards. And then I've expanded to, you can read a book about alligators, you can do a fine motor craft called Alligator Handprints, you can do a gross motor game called Alligator Balloon Play, you can skywrite the letter A, you can taste and smell apples, you can go on a nature walk and look for acorns and ants. And then this area here is called multisensory writing. You know as well as I do, you do not have to pick up a pencil when you're learning how to write, especially those early childhood children that are just learning about writing. So multisensory writing involves building, tracing, and writing. So each of the alphabet letters we're building, tracing, and writing with different materials that start with the same letter. So for example, with the letter A, we're building with alphabet magnets, we're writing our finger in applesauce, or we're tracing our finger in applesauce, and we're writing with an aquadoodle. Lindsay Justice is an occupational therapist and a good friend of mine who helped me write this book. And I have a short video clip that I want to share with you in a minute that talks about multisensory writing. The rest of the DVD shows the activity cards being used in a variety of ways. We've also enhanced this DVD to include some of the audio clips when we're demonstrating some of the activity cards. I hope you enjoy this instructional DVD and find it useful while you're working with young children, either your children or children in your setting. Thank you.
And I'm an occupational therapist who works in the school system. Today I'm going to demonstrate build, trace, write using the letter A and some of the associated materials. When we think about the development of handwriting, we're going to start with building the letters. This doesn't necessarily require a child to know how to efficiently grasp a pencil or writing instrument, but rather we can approach it through play and materials they're familiar with and objects that they see within the classroom. So when we talk about building letters, we're talking about taking away some of that fine motor demand. So they don't necessarily have to have really refined grasp patterns yet, or even be able to conceptualize the letter as a whole. But we're going to look at breaking down the letter into the component parts and prompting the child through the use of lines, strokes, curves, as well as letter segments. So for the letter A, you may prompt a child that, we need to build 2 big diagonal lines. So you can take magnet letters and place them on something as simple as a cookie sheet. It creates a really nice workspace for a child. So if you're working in a small group, everyone has their own workspace. And you can have them follow an adult model or even a printed model. By using magnet letters, you can include lots of different students with many different abilities, because as you see, you're using more gross grasp on the letters as you place them. It's very easy to correct errors because you can just move the magnets. If you need to prompt a child differently who may not have higher concepts of stroke and line segments, you can always add a model such as a printed letter and have them just place the magnets on top to just build right over that model. When we build, we're using a lot of our touch senses. We're getting a lot of good feedback when we place the letters down, and we're really accessing more areas of the brain that will help with solidifying some of that learning. Writing can be something that's a turnoff to some kids. It seems really hard. So when we break it down into a building task, it seems more like a play activity. And when we start to introduce letters, they seem less like a work demand and more just like a piece of their everyday job, which is to play. Next, we're going to talk about tracing. Tracing is a piece where we can really start to incorporate a lot of the senses. Learning can be such a multisensory experience. We really want to capture that when we think about things that are higher in cognitive demands, like writing. So when we are talking about the letter A, we chose to use applesauce. Now, there are a lot of different tactile properties to applesauce, but think about all the rich feedback the child might get when they're tracing their hands through it. You can have the child trace from a model, or simply see if their visual memory is strong enough to trace in there. What's fun about different multi-sensory approaches, such as tracing in applesauce, is it's easy to write. We can see kids get creative. They can kind of branch off and do other things when they're done. And the same with building, is there's quick error correction. So if it doesn't work, you can keep tracing over and over again while having the same resources and tools just available in their workspace. If a child has tactile defensiveness or maybe is leery about getting their fingers messy, you can always give them something like a paintbrush or another tool to trace in the applesauce so that it doesn't become a negative experience for them while still increasing exposure in and around the substance. The last piece we're going to talk about is the writing. Now here's where we can take some of those skills and tools that we learned through building and tracing, some of that exposure to what lines and line segments make up the letters, and we can apply it to the actual task of writing. Here we'll have more of an expectation for a mature grasp pattern or emerging grasp patterns on writing instruments, and we can see them start to apply those to a real 2D application. Using tools like an aquadoodle are really fun because it reinforces that letter sound, as well as it just is a different medium than paper and pencil, and it still provides the child with this fun play experience. So you can use the pen that comes with the aquadoodle, or even get a paintbrush out. You can use sponges, cotton balls dipped in water, and really have fun with it. Spray bottles are another great way to have fun with an aquadoodle. And what's neat about this tool as well is it's reusable. So once it dries, you can use it over and over again. A lot of the build, trace, write strategies can easily be incorporated into small group sessions or stations, which is really nice. Using the build, trace, write method, you could do it in one class session in which children progress through the building, tracing, and writing, and they get that repeated exposure to the letter formation in a multisensory approach throughout the day. So I just encourage you to think about the importance of using a multisensory approach. The more centers of the brain we can incorporate, the better the learning will be, and the more fun it will be for the child as well.
Angry alligators marching on the alley. So we are going to bring our hands together like this. And we're going to march. We got to pick up our feet and we're going to march this way. All the way down. Pick up your knees. March. G. It's going to be like gallop like a horse. So we're going to start over here up at the top. We're going to make a G. We're going to curve around, go halfway up and in. So, girls and guys gallop gleefully with goofy green gorillas. So, we're going to face this walk. Can you face every walk? Turn your body, face the walk. Left leg's going to be out. And we're going to go step together, step together, step together, step together. Good job. Step together. Keep going. Step together, step together. Good job. Oh, and now we're back here. And our other leg's going to be out, and we're going to go back. Are we ready? Same thing. We're going to go step together, step together, step together. Keep going. Step together, step together. Good job. This is the letter E. The letter E. Enormous elephants stomp elegantly toward the entrance. So we're going to start at the top, make a straight line down, back at the top, over, the middle over, and the bottom over. That makes our letter E. So we need to put our hands together like this, and we're going to stomp all the way down. Swinging your arm. Stomp. Good job. J, the letter J, for jumping jaguars, jet forward in the jungle. So we're going to start at the top, and we're going to go down and curve it. Good job. So our feet need to be together, and we're going to jump, jump, jump. All the way down. Can you toss it up there on one of them? Let's see if you can get it on one. Oh, so close. Try it again. Oh, what letter did it land on? The T, the letter T. So we start at the top, we make a line down, and cross over the top. And T is for tiptoe. So we gotta get up on your tiptoes, and we're gonna tiptoe forward. Tiptoe, can you tiptoe all the way down to the other end? Keep going, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Tiptoe, up on those tiptoes. Good job. Keep going. Good job. Okay, we got what letter? P. P is for penguin waddle. But first of all, let's make a letter. Start at the top. We go down, and back at the top, and make a little circle around the top. Not a circle, by the way. Sorry. Okay, are we ready? And remember the penguin waddle? Put your hands like this. And we're going to waddle. Ready? Waddle, 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 waddle. Good job, good job. Oh, which one do you want to do? This one, which is what letter?
Q.
Q? Or do you want to do that?
That.
K, you want to do the K? The kangaroo jump. Okay, that's K. We got to make a K. Ready? Start at the top, go down, and we're going to make a diagonal this way and a diagonal this way down. Okay? And to do the kangaroo jump, our feet together, our hands up like this, and we got to jump, 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 jump. Oh, yeah, we're almost there. Good job. Okay, what letter is it?
Q.
Q. Okay, we're going to start at the top, make a circle, and then we got to put a little line to make our Q. And the Q is for quick walk. Not running, but quick walk. Gotta go like this, and we gotta walk. The arms swinging. Walk, 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 walk. Good job. Good walking. Letter? L. L. Okay, so we're gonna start at the top, make a line down and over. And L is for line walk. Okay, here's the tricky part. We are on the line. You gotta follow me. We're gonna go heel to toe. Follow me. Stay on the line. Don't fall off. All the way. Are you coming? Keep going. Good job. Walking heel to toe. Go down and back up is the letter U, and it's under the wire crawl. So we gotta lay down on our stomach, and we're gonna crawl to our next one. So we gotta get down on our stomach like this, and we're gonna crawl. We're gonna use your arms and crawl. Keep going and crawl all the way over to the next one. All the way over. It is hard. Keep going. Can you lay on your belly? Lay on your belly. There you go. Keep going. And use those arms and keep going. Oh, good work. Oh, good job. Good job. We have our next one is the letter M. The letter M. We start at the top, go down, back up, down, up, and down. And it's the marching one. So we are going to march to our next one. Ready? March. March. Bring up those knees. Good job. Get on the green line right here. Good job marching. We're going to go back to where we started as soon as we're finished with this one. Anybody know what letter? H. That's right. We start at the top, lying down, come over, another line down, and cross in the middle. And H is for hopping on one foot. So we're going to pick up one foot and we're going to hop that way. Ready? And hop. Good job. Good job. Good hopping. Good job. Okay, our first letter is the letter B. And we can make the letter B. I'm going to turn this way so you can watch me. I'm going to go straight up and go down and around to make the B. And B is for bear crawl. A rhyme for this would be walk like a bear to the chair if you dare. I see a chair over there. Let's see if we can do the bear crawl to the chair. Okay, are we ready? Bear crawl is up on our feet, hands down, and we got to bear crawl over to the chair and then back to our spot. All the way over, then turn around and come back. Good job, good job. Oh, the letter O, we start at the top and we go all the way around to make a big circle. O is for ostrich walk. A rhyme for that would be a rich ostrich had an itch to eat a sandwich. That's kind of silly, huh? So we're gonna stand up, and we gotta reach over and grab our ankles, and we're gonna walk our ostrich walk to the chair and back. Good job. Good job. Keep going. All the way there and back. This is the tricky one. What letter is this? Yeah, what letter is this? A C, the letter C. So we start at the top and make a curve around, not a full circle, just leave an opening. Okay. And then this one, we're gonna walk like a crab to grab the cab. You hear the rhyme? Walk like a crab to grab the cab. So we gotta put our hands down, gotta keep our bottom off the ground, and we're gonna go all the way back to the chair, and then come back to our spots. Woo! This one's hard, isn't it? It is hard. Keep going. Good job. Good job, keep going. And then turn around and come back. Okay, what letter is this?
D.
D, the letter D. And how we make the letter D would be, we start at the top and go down, and then we go back to the top and go around. Good job. Can we try that with our finger? We start at the top, go down, back to the top, and go around. Good job. And this is, D is for duck walk. So our rhyme would be walk like a duck to the truck. So we're gonna stand up, and then we're gonna squat down just a little bit, put your arms on your hips, and then gonna walk like a duck over to the chair and back. Good job. Okay, we ready to go outside? Let's line up. Sarah, you're my line leader, and our letter is
S.
S. Okay, let's trace the S. Good job. And S is for skip. Let's see, what rhymes with skip? We got
Dip.
Dip does. What else?
Lip.
Lip. I have some. I have grab a chip and skip to the ship. Okay, are we ready? We're going to just skip on outside. Ready? Step up, step up, step up. And we are doing the letter V. Make a V. Make a V. Start at the top. Get up. For our victorious Vikings row valiantly in a very violent storm. Did you hear all those V's? Okay, so we're going to make our Viking row. Okay, let's go.
Victorious Vikings row valiantly in a very violent storm. Victorious Vikings row valiantly in a very violent storm. Victorious Vikings row valiantly in a very violent storm.
Let's do our X marches. Back to the room. Elbow to knee.
X,
Good job.
X,
Keep going.
X,
Almost
march
there.
extra tall to your X-ray.
Okay, you guys are done with snack. We're going to do our zany side step to circle time, okay? See our Z on there? We're going to make it like, doop, doop, doop. Can you guys make a Z there? Good job. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go to circle time. We're going to zany side step. Ready? We're going to step together, step together. Good job. Doing your zany side step. Okay, our next letter is I. We start at the top and straight down. A rhyme for it would be nice mice skate on ice. So we're going to do it to music. So we're going to pretend we're skating and we're going to go to the beat of the music. So we're going to go nice and slow. We're going to go all the way around the table, nice and slow. Now the music's going to pick up a little faster, so what are we going to do? Yes, we're going to skate faster. Good job. Okay, we're going to do the walrus walk. Good job.
W, W. Wonderful wild walruses, they walk and wiggle toward the water.
Guess what? We get to go to the park and we get to yes walk backwards. Are we ready? Yes. 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 Okay, our next letter is the letter R. Let's trace the letter R. We start at the top and go down. Jump back up to the top and round and down. And I like to run and have fun in the sun. So are we ready to run? Run in the sun. They run. Good job. Ready? Set, go.
Racing, racing, rabbits. R says, run around the.
We're not going to march around the room. We're going to march right on our squares. Ready? Here we go. March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good marches. Oh, you were with a drum. Good deal. Okay, did you have a turn yet? Okay. Are you ready? Catch. All right. What did you get? Yellow. Penguin waddle. What's that letter? P. Right where we're at. Penguin waddle. Stand right down. I couldn't remember. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Waddle like penguins. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next row. Okay. So if you don't have a lot of room, you can do it just right where you're at. Okay, you'll be next. You had a turn. All right, ready? Catch. Good. What did you get? Blue. This one? Okay. This blue is the letter, anybody know?
J.
Oh, get back to your spot. J is for jump. And what exercise would you think it would be?
Jump.
Jump, 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 jump. J is for jump. Jump, 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 jump. J is for jump. Jump, jump, jump. J is for jump. All right. Very good. Okay, your turn. Ready? Here we go. Good one.
That went right across my face.
It did go right. How about this one? What's that letter?
Purple.
It's purple. They're right. Do you know what this letter is? Does anybody know what this one is?
I know. G.
A G. And G is for... That's a G. G is for gallop like a horse. So, can you lead us in galloping like a horse? Ready? One foot in front of the other. We're horses. We're horses. We're galloping like horses. That's it. We're galloping like horses. All right, friends. Today we're going to play a game called the ABCs of Movement Freeze game. Okay? It's going to take a lot of good listening skills. All right? Put your listening ears on. Because what we're going to do, listen. Okay, listen. Let me tell you the directions. We're going to learn some ABC movements. And I'm going to play music. And we're going to move to the music. But then when the music stops, we have to freeze. Okay? So let me show you what I mean. Anybody know what this letter is?
Alligator.
Okay, the letter is A, okay? But before we do the alligator, do you know what the sound the letter A makes? Okay, it doesn't make chop chop sound. It says like that. Right. So let's make the letter A with our pointer fingers. Can everybody get their pointer fingers out? And we're gonna make the A. We're gonna go diagonal, diagonal, and across. And that's how you make the letter A. And you are right. We are going to alligator. Okay, we have to be quiet. Listen. Good listening.
I already know how to do that.
Okay, so right where you're standing, I wonder if you can do some like this. Arms super straight. Okay? Now, when I turn the music on, we are going to alligator march around the carpeted area. Okay? You can march around the carpet. And then when the music stops, what do you have to do?
Freeze.
Freeze.
You can use it like this or like this.
Right. Okay, are you ready? Start marching around the carpeted area.
Hello.
Good listening. Okay, very good. That's how we play the game. Go back to your places, and we'll do the next letter.
That's fun.
Listening ears. Ready? Listening ears. Good listeners. What's this letter? D. That is right. And what sound does the letter D make? Okay, it's not duh. It's d. All right. Let's get our pointers out. Let's make the uppercase letter D. Let's go a straight line down and then around. D is for duck walk. So listen to your direction. When the music starts, you're going to squat down. You're going to get your little duck arms out, and you can make your wings flap if you want. And then when you can march around the carpet area like a duck, you're going to walk around. When the music stops, you need to find a friend and go right next to him. And I need people to be in twos, okay? So a group of two, okay?
I'll be
So when the music stops, don't say who you're going to be with yet, because you might be just walking around and then the music stops. You find a friend to stand by, okay? All right. Here we go. Oh, they're already together. Find somebody else. Find somebody else. They're already together. Find somebody else. Anybody else? Let's see. Who are you guys with over here? Are you two together? You two are together? And you're with me. Okay, everybody's got a partner? Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to march around again and find a different partner if the music goes off. Okay, Visit the website abcsofmovement.com for more ideas on how to use multisensory movements in learning early literacy skills. The ABCs of Active Learning book is available on Amazon, and the download is also available at the abcsofmovement.com.